cannot give you back your homes or restore your dead to life. But perhaps I can give you justice in the name of our king.
How many tens of thousands had to die because Rhaegar chose your aunt?
Yes, he chose her. And then he kidnapped her and raped her.
Hey everyone, today I wanted to talk about an awesome theory that I heard from a Reddit user named The Kingslayer. His theory is about Petyr Baelish and the origin of Rhaegar kidnapping and raping Lyanna Stark's story. He briefly explains his stance, and I will put the link to his original post in the description, but I wanted to dig into it a bit. So the story goes that Rhaegar Targaryen, the heir to the throne, kidnapped Lyanna Stark from the Riverlands and took her to Dorne. This was a huge deal because Lyanna was betrothed to Robert Baratheon and Rhaegar was married to Elia Martell, with whom he already had 2 children. Upon hearing about the event, Lyanna's eldest brother, Brandon Stark, who was heading to the Riverlands to marry Catelyn Tully, decided to ride to King's Landing to demand that King Aerys II return Lyanna and punish his son. In turn, Aerys decided to execute not only Brandon Stark, but also his father, the Warden of the North, Rickard Stark. All of this led to the culmination of Robert's rebellion, where Rhaegar left a pregnant Lyanna in the Tower of Joy, and Rhaegar went on to lead his forces against Robert Baratheon's army, in which Rhaegar died at the Battle of the Trident. So this is where the theory fits in. Petyr Baelish was in the Riverlands during this apparent kidnapping. So let's set the scene. Petyr, who grew up along the Tullys, loved Catelyn, which we have all known for quite some time. In this case, love is a weak word. Petyr was actually obsessed with Catelyn, but Catelyn was to marry Brandon Stark. Petyr actually tried to duel Brandon for the honor of Catelyn's love, but he failed miserably. That event pretty much showed Baelish that if he wanted power later in life, he would have to play a different game than warriors. Remember that, it'll come up again. So Petyr didn't have Catelyn's heart like he wanted, and later on we see that he isn't keen on the Starks for taking away all he held dear. Lysa, Catelyn's sister, loved Petyr though, really loved him, but she was no Catelyn. The theory suggests that Baelish was well aware that he could manipulate Lysa even at such a young age, probably in the young teens. Petyr was not getting the satisfaction that he sought, and when Rhaegar came to the Riverlands to get Lyanna, he may have seen what really happened, that Lyanna was more than willing to elope with Prince Rhaegar. But since everyone was getting their way except for Baelish, he may have just said screw it and made up the lie that Lyanna was kidnapped. Since he was not highborn, people may not have believed him entirely, so that is where Lysa comes in. Since she was in love with Petyr, he could have had Lysa help corroborate his story. Also, he sure wasn't fond of Brandon Stark, who took his love Catelyn away from him, and he knew that spreading this lie would throw a monkey wrench into the works, especially in the face of the upcoming Stark-Tully wedding. Now, Petyr Baelish was young, like I said before, no older than 14 or 15, and many people have suggested that he was not smart enough at this age to devise such a huge plan that launched a major war and other major events to come. But Petyr didn't necessarily have to think this far ahead. He could have just been a heartbroken kid that wanted others to be conflicted as much as he was. That's actually a human trait that we all have in real life, especially in children. If I can't be happy, none of us can be happy. Anyways, at the very least, if Petyr really was the one who started the rumor that Rhaegar abducted Lyanna, he knew that Brandon Stark would delay the wedding to Catelyn to go retrieve his beloved sister. And sure enough, Brandon went to Aerys and was executed, never coming back to Catelyn. This alone probably showed Baelish how far words can reach and the harm they can cause. The current day Littlefinger that we know is a master manipulator that plays every angle of the game, with nothing more than words as his weapon. So Petyr now loves Sansa, the last person in the world who actually reminds him of Catelyn. When Sansa and Petyr are in the crypts of Winterfell, he talks about Lyanna and Rhaegar, alluding to the love affair that led to war and thousands of deaths. If Petyr really did start that rumor, this one scene would have a deeper meaning than we first thought. So of all the theories I've discussed, even with little hard evidence, this seems to make a lot of sense. Petyr's facial expression when Sansa claims that Lyanna was raped and kidnapped seems to display more than doubt. It could very well be that he knew for fact that this wasn't at all the case. What do you guys think? Do you think that Petyr could have started this lie? Or do you think Robert Baratheon started it because he couldn't bear the pain knowing the woman that he loved was actually infatuated with another man? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. We are quickly approaching 75,000 subscribers, so make sure if you want to get in on the Game of Thrones giveaway, subscribe and leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.